row reduction of matrices. So there are 3 ways to row reduce a matrix. One of the ways is by row swapping, and this is very easy, and it is done by switching the row of a matrix to form this new matrix. As you can see in the example, row 2 and 3 are switched to form this new matrix on the right. And the notation used is R2 is double-headed arrow, R3. Another method of row reduction is adding rows. So in the example shown, I added row 1 and row 2 to form this row made up of 8, 14, 8, 8. And that is replaced to the second row, and the notation is R2 is equal to R1 plus R2. And the third method is by multiplying a row by a constant. In the example shown, I multiplied the constant 2 to R1. And the notation is R1 is equal to 2 times R1. Row reduction is to get the matrix into row reduced echelon form, or RREF. And that matrix is basically a diagonal sequence of ones and everywhere else zeros. So now we will work on an example that involves the 3 ways of row reduction. Keep in mind, our goal is this row echelon form, reduced row echelon form here. This is our goal. Okay, so right away we can see that we can add the first 2 rows together to reproduce this new second row to make this 1, -1, a 0. Let me write that out. Okay, so this is the notation of the first 2 rows to reproduce this second row. So let's see. Okay, so we know that R3 remains unchanged. R1 also remains unchanged. Only R2 here changes. Okay, so R1 here, R2 here. Now we sum it up together. We get this 0, 1, 4. So this new second row will become 0, 1, 4. Okay, I'm just going to erase this word so I have more space to work with. So from here to there, we added the first R1 and R2 to get this new R2. Next, also on a side note, we can see that we're one step closer. We got this 0 here, which is this 0 here, and we got lucky because this 1 is already here, which is kind of like this 1. Okay, so next we will, let's see, we can do let's see, R3 minus 4R1 to create this new R3. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Let's see. So we know that only R3 changes. So R1 and R2 is the same. Only R3 changes. So R3, which is 4, -14, 2. Okay, so this is negative R1. So basically, you have R1 here, which is this thing, and you multiply -4 to it. So you will get, so let's see, let me notate it like this. So R3 is still R3, which is this. Now, if you multiply -4 to R1, you get -4, 16, 4. Now you can sum it up together, and you see how like here it's 0, how here it's 2 and 6. So now we've produced this new third row. And you can go back on the video if this seems confusing, but basically I combined the method of adding rows to multiplying a row by a constant. Right, so the constant in this case is -4, and then the addition, or more like subtraction, kinda, is between R3 and R1. So this comes in very handy, so you don't have to waste time. So you could speed up the process if you're doing a test or a quiz. Okay, so I'm just gonna erase the work here. Okay, so now we're another step closer to our goal because we see this first column 1, 0, 0, which is this goal that we're trying to get to. Okay, on to the next column. So let's see. we can create this new third row by dividing all 3 by 2. So only row 3 changes. So row 1 is still this, row 2 is still this. All 3 becomes divided by 2. So that's that. Okay, and let's see. Now we can create this new all 3 by subtracting all 2 to create this new all 3. So we can see all 3 is this, and all 2 is this, and we subtract it. So 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So we have produced this new all 3. And once again, the first 2 row remains the same. Okay, that's what we have currently. Okay, I'm just going to erase this work here. Okay, so now we're another step closer because we have all of this, which is the same as this. Okay, now we need to fix this negative 4. I feel like that will be the easiest. So we can take, let's see, so we're changing row 1. We can take 4 times row 2 and add it to row 1. So we know that row 2 remains unchanged, row 3 remains unchanged. Row 1 is the one that changes in this case. Okay, so row 2, which is this thing, you multiply 4 to it, and you get this. So you get 0, 4, 16, and so that's the new row 2. Or like it was 4 times 14. And then you add it to row 1, which is this. Now we produced this 1, 0, 15. So row 1 becomes 1, 0, 15. Okay. Now we can see that the first 2 columns is in the forms that we want to. Now on to the last row. So, okay, we can immediately see that we could multiply negative 1 to all 3. So we get this thing. Alrighty, so we can see that we have everything here the same as this. Only 2 places that are different now. So, okay, just gonna copy this matrix again. Okay, so what we will do, okay, we can make a new row 2. So using, okay, or 2 plus, or more like minus, or 2 minus or 3, right? So 0, 0, 1, and 1, 0, 15. Row 2 changes, and row 2 is from 0, 1, 4, negative 4 to row 3. It's gonna become, so this will be 0, 1, 4, 0, 0. This whole thing will be negative 4. Okay, now we add these together, we get this. So now our row 2 is 0, 1, 0. Okay, now we see we only need to target 15 in the first row. So let's erase this work here. Okay, so we can use a very similar step as last one. So, excuse me, all 1 will be equal to all 1 minus 15 times all 3, right? So row 2 and 3 remains the same, only row 1 changes. So row 1 is this, and then do a negative 15 times row 3. So this whole thing becomes 1, 0, 15, negative 15. Oh, oops. 0, 0, negative 15. So we have 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. And bam, we produce this row echelon form, or reduced rows echelon form, actually. At the beginning, I know it takes a while to row reduce a matrix, but practice makes perfect. There is a worksheet created for more practice, and it also includes step-by-step solutions. Thank you.